David?
And I'll answer your question, but first I want to, Matt made the reference to veto in the governor's mansion. I'm going to get this number wrong, but it's pretty close. Gary Johnson, when he was governor of New Mexico for 2 terms, vetoed 481 bills. That number is wrong, but it's pretty close to it. 481. Hickenlooper has got 2 years to catch up, and he's only 480 shy.
What did he veto?
I don't remember, but I think he did veto one thing. Yeah. Oh. Question is, what's my goal? What do I consider, what's success? Only one thing, and that's winning, period, into discussion. And this is how it can happen. Some Republicans are concerned about issues such as the Second Amendment and the Republican stance on those 2 bills. And regards to the Masterpiece Bakery situation, the current Republican Attorney General is supporting the Civil Rights Commission to make Jack Phillips serve the people he doesn't want to serve. Now, I'm a libertarian. I'd have sold him a cake. I'd have upsold him, and I tried to cater the whole thing. But that's not the point. The point is, do we want a society or a state where someone, because of their religious beliefs, are looking at the possibility of going to jail? Because that's the bottom line. If he doesn't do what he's ordered to do, he will be held in contempt of court, and he will be put in jail. Now, you can disagree with him all you want, and that's fine. Let's have that discussion. Boycott his place. Tell people not to buy anything from there if you want. That's what America's all about. But this Republican Attorney General is on board with prosecuting this man for his religious beliefs. Now, it's true that the statute says he's got to sell a cake. Now, what's the problem with that analysis? It leaves out the First Amendment of the Constitution and the equivalent position of the state constitution. And this is where you need more than just a law clerk to say, oh yeah, that's what the statute says, therefore we're going to prosecute this guy. And it's a civil case, so prosecute's not the right word, but he still is looking at jail. You need a lawyer who is willing to lead. What I would have done in that situation is I would have gone out there within 2 days with 10 bakers willing to sell a cake to that couple. And I would have said, hey, these guys want a cake? We've solved that problem. We don't need this threat of the entire state government putting this guy in jail. One of the foundational principles of any litigation is a real case in controversy. And if the problem was they couldn't get a cake, well, I just solved that problem. We got no more case in controversy. But see, that takes some type of leadership. That takes somebody out there willing to get out there and solve a problem, not just apply the law. So that wasn't, well, all right. So those are 2 things right there where I'm reaching out to the quote-unquote conservatives and the Republicans. With the Democrats, I'm the only person that's against the death penalty. Unapologetically 100% against the death penalty. I cannot believe in limited government and believe that I can trust the government to decide who they're going to kill. Complete contradiction. I can't say, well, the government's too incompetent to run healthcare, but, oh, sure, they're good enough to decide who they're going to execute. And I hear, oh, but Dave, it's the jury that decides, right? Well, a couple of things. The jury decides after the state agents' police come to the scene, and the state agents do their investigation. And the state agents' police develop a theory of the case, and they look for evidence to fit that theory of the case. And then they hand over that evidence that the state agents have obtained to some more state agents, the district attorney's office. The district attorney himself is a politician elected who usually has higher political aspirations. That state agent has the entire and sole discretion to decide whether or not to seek the death penalty. So once that state agent looks at the evidence collected by the other state agents, based upon the theory of the case developed by state agents, they can go to a trial. And then a state agent in a black robe decides what evidence the jury can hear and what arguments the defense can make. But that jury is only comprised of people who have said, I believe in the death penalty. Did you guys heard of a death qualified jury? If you say I don't believe in the death penalty, you are automatically stricken from the jury pool. So only people willing to impose the death penalty are on the jury. So yes, after the state has done all of that and thrown off the jury panel anybody who doesn't believe in the death penalty, then yes, then the jury decides. 100 and the number went up a couple months ago. 145, I believe, maybe 146 now. People have been removed from death row since it was reinstated in the 70s because they were innocent. Not guilty. Not because somebody had some doubts after the fact. Because they were innocent. If that doesn't make you mad, it should. And how many people were executed that we didn't find out about? It's just an irreversible solution, especially when the government has made that many mistakes. You can let somebody out of jail after 10 years, as horrible as that is. Can't dig them up. Won't do them any good. So if we are people that believe in limited government, I submit you've got to be against the death penalty. Lock them up forever. Don't let them see sunshine. I don't care. And it's another big government program, for that matter, because it costs more to execute somebody than it does to keep them in jail their whole life. That's just a fact. And I hear, oh, Dave, if we just took them out back and put a bullet in their head, it wouldn't cost anything, would it? Did I just tell you about the 146 people that were innocent that were put on death row? Is that number going to go up or down if we just execute them after the fact? Take them out in the backyard.
Explain why it costs more? I'd like to hear that.
Because of the appeals.
Just because of the appeals.
Because of the appeals. Absolutely. That and the DA and at the trial level, the DA and the appointed counsel, because it's probably happened, but I can't think off the top of my head a time where somebody facing the death penalty could afford their own lawyer. So they're court appointed. So you get a lot more DA resources at the trial level and a lot more defense counsel resources at the trial level because it is so drastic of a remedy. And look, I got no problem with the notion that some people deserve to die. Got no problem with that. My problem comes in outsourcing that to the government. Again, if we're not going to outsource healthcare to the government, we can't outsource that to them.